The Older I Get is a song I wrote about my life growing up. My mom was sick with cancer when I was young, and she actually passed away when I was 14 from breast cancer. And, of course, it was hard on my family, and me and my dad started fighting all the time. And in fact, I don't actually remember a time when me and my dad spoke to each other for about 4 years without screaming at each other and getting mad. And he was going through a hard time, and I was going through a hard time, and instead of fighting that pain and that hard time together, we just fought each other, basically. And I wrote this song, The Older I Get, because looking back on my life now is I've gotten older and I have made amends with my dad, and we get along great, and he gets to know my kids, and my kids get to have a granddad, which is awesome. As I look back on it, I just wish that I had made that step earlier. I wish that I had forgiven him earlier and not spent so much time being mad at him and hating him. And the reason I feel this song is good for people to hear is because there's a lot of people out there that are feeling that way. They've dealt with a similar situation in their family life. And this is a song basically encouraging people not to wait until a loved one is on their deathbed before you make things right, or before you're on your deathbed and you wish you could make things right. And life's just too short to go on just hating people and being mad. So that was option one. We'll do another option two. The Older I Get is a song I wrote about my personal life growing up. My mom was sick with cancer when I was young, and she actually passed away when I was 14 from breast cancer. And of course it was hard on my family, and me and my dad began to fight all the time. In fact, I can't remember a time for about 4 or 5 years that we spoke to each other without yelling at each other and having a big fight. And it was very bad at home. We lived kind of like we hated each other, basically. And basically I'm writing this song now, looking back on my life, wishing I could go back and have made things better. We have made amends now, and I have a relationship with my dad, and he has a relationship with my kids, and my kids get to have a grandfather, which is awesome. But looking back on it, I wish I had done that earlier. I wish I'd made that step. I wish I'd forgiven him. I wish I would have told him I was sorry for the times I pushed him away, and because I was going through pain. And the reason I think The Older I Get is a good song for people, for society in general, is because there are a lot of people that I meet that say, hey, I know what you mean, I'm going through that with my family, or I went through that. Or they say, I went through that and I've never forgiven my parents for what they did to me. And this is a song basically telling them, don't wait till your parents are on their deathbed before you make things right, or a loved one, or before you're on your own deathbed and wish you could make things right. This is a song that says life is too short to live with that kind of pain, and it's better to get it right now. You'll be a happier person. Option three. The Older I Get is a song I wrote about my life growing up. My mom was sick with cancer when I was young, and actually passed away when I was 14 from breast cancer. And, of course it was hard on my family, and me and my dad began to fight all the time. We lived like we hated each other, basically, and instead of kind of joining together and fighting the pain in our lives, we just fought each other all the time. I can't remember a normal conversation for 4 or 5 years with my dad that we didn't scream at each other. And so now I'm writing this song, looking back on my life, thinking, I wish I had made that step earlier, and I wish I had forgiven my dad for the things I felt he had done wrong to me, and I wish I had asked him for his forgiveness for the times I pushed him away and didn't want anything to do with him. And I'm at a great point now that I have made amends with my dad, and that we do have a good relationship, and he gets to know my kids, and my kids get to have a grandfather and get to enjoy, that kind of life with them, which is great. But this song is good, I think, for other people, because there are lots and lots of people that are going through this, that fight with their parents, they fight with loved ones, and they just never make that step towards getting it right. This is a song that's basically saying, don't wait until you're on your deathbed, or your parents are on their deathbed, before you finally say I'm sorry, before you finally make it right. It's a song that just says life is too short to live with that kind of anger and resentment, and encourage anyone out there that's going through that hears a song to make that step and forgive someone.